हेलो।
Yes, sir.
अच्छा हाँ, ମୋ ଭଏସ ଆସୁଛି ତ ସାର୍?
ठीक है.
ହଁ।
सर नमस्कार. प्रद्योत सर नमस्कार. सस्मिता मैडम नमस्कार.
नमस्कार.
मैडम टिके 5 मिनिट वेट करिबा तापर ठीक 3 टारे हम स्टार्ट करिबा.
ରଜନୀ ସାର୍
फोन
हेलो।
करूँ. फोन करूँ. सर नमस्कार. दिलीप सर नमस्कार.
एटा कोन तो बार बार कटि जाउची. थोड़ा था अड़ के ताऊ ये है कि बस स्टूडेंट बने.
नमस्कार.
नमस्कार.
हाँ रजनी आई एम रजनी
सर
रजनी
नमस्कार सर नमस्कार
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 नमस्कार मो ऑडिबल होउची तो
सर सर
ये सर ऑडिबल
अच्छा
सर
ठीक है
सर जस्ट गोटे मिनिट आम स्टार्ट करूँ
हाँ हाँ
सर स्टार्ट करिए सर
हाँ प्रिंसिपल आसी गले
यस सर 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 नमस्कार
हेलो
A very good afternoon to all. Respected Principal Madam Dr. Srimati Rashmi Misra, esteemed President of OCA, Professor Sasmita Samant, Honorable Chief Guest, State Information Commissioner Mr. Dilip Kumar Bisoi, respected resource person of the webinar, Professor Malay Kumar Mahanti, respected Professor Pradyot Kesari Pradhan, respected resource person from all abroad, Dr. Suresh Kumar Pandey and Dr. Zakir Hussain Sheikh, Secretary of OCA, Professor Major S.A. Tahe, all the respected dignitaries of Odisha Commerce Association and faculty members, participants from all across the country and abroad. A warm welcome to all of you to the international webinar on reverse migration and rehabilitation possibilities in Odisha, jointly organized by PG Department of Commerce, DHENKANAL Autonomous College and Odisha Commerce Association. I, Rajnikant Khuntia, convener of this webinar, I like to say, without a constant livelihood, there will be no constant heart. And livelihood has significant implications on individual, society, and the economy at a large. So this topic is quite relevant in this present scenario. Without wasting much time, first let me give the privilege to introduce our principal madam, Dr. Srimati Rashmi Misra. She is a professor in mathematics. Madam has a more than 35 years of teaching as well as administrative experience, and everything is at its place in your able leadership. She is a source of inspiration for all of us. I would like to invite Principal Madam to put her welcome address. Madam, over to you.
Esteemed Chief Guest and Chief Resource Person, Sri Dilip Kumar Bisoi, Honorable State Information Commissioner, Professor Sasmita Samanta, Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor Kit, Professor Malay Kumar Mohanty, former President OCA, Professor Pradyot Kesari Pradhan, former Vice President OCA, Dr. Zakir Hussain Sheikh, Faculty in Commercial Studies Division, Ministry of Education, Kingdom of Bahrain, Dr. Suresh Kumar Pandey, Faculty of School of Accounting and Law, Fiji National University, and esteemed participants in today's international webinar on reverse migration and rehabilitation possibilities in Odisha, organized by the PG Department of Commerce, DHENKANAL Autonomous College, DHENKANAL, in collaboration with Odisha Commerce Association. A very good afternoon and warm welcome to you all. At the very outset, I express my sincere gratitude to the esteemed resource persons for their kind consent to address the webinar, and my thanks to the PG Department of Commerce and especially to Sri Rajnikant Khuntia, head of the Department Commerce, for organizing this important webinar at a very critical time of a pandemic. The issues of reverse migration and rehabilitation possibilities taken up in this webinar are relevant to the present context of COVID-19 pandemic. Migration is certainly a painful experience, although it may be taken as a livelihood strategy. It is painful because it separates an individual from his home, but the question of survival supersedes this agony. Reverse migration, although it makes a homecoming possible, is in no way a pleasant experience. since it affects livelihood opportunities. When reverse migration happens due to a pandemic or other reasons, it is necessary to rehabilitate the migrant laborers as well as others. In the context of the topic of the webinar, I would like to say that both migration and reverse migration are painful experiences on the part of the migrant laborer. Both problems are caused by pressing circumstances. Since the question of livelihood is very important, the fact of reverse migration needs to be addressed by the rehabilitation measures at the level of government. This webinar will make an in-depth analysis in these questions, and we are lucky to listen to a galaxy of illustrious speakers. I urge the participants to make this session interactive. I'm sure this webinar will broaden the horizon of the participants. The international webinar will make an analysis of the concerns primarily pertaining to Odisha, since the rate of migration is high in the state. It is very painful. See migrant laborers gripped by the fear of the pandemic on one hand and the pangs of livelihoods on the other. This calls for the making our state rich in industry, which can minimize the rate of migration. Once again, I express my deep sense of gratitude to the esteemed resource persons and thanks to all the participants for participating in this webinar. I'm sure this webinar will generate further critical inquiry into the questions of reverse migration and rehabilitation. I would like to mention that in the recent past, our college has successfully organized webinars on different topics. With its mission of academic excellence, DHENKANAL Autonomous College has been scaling new heights. Thank you once again. Thank you all. Over to Rajani.
Thank you, madam. She is the Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor of Kalinga Institute of Industrial Technology, which is the youngest deemed to be the university in the country. And she is the Vice Chancellor of Kalinga Institute of Social Science, which is a home for around 30,000 tribal students. She has immense contributions for the success of these two premier institutions. Every year, she hosts many conferences, seminars, workshops of national and international standard. Also, she has chaired numerous national and international seminar conference as a resource person. She is an astute academic administrator and academic visionary, having experience in a diverse field of teaching, research, leadership, and consulting. She is the chairperson of two prestigious professional associations, All India Commerce Association as well as All Odisha Commerce Association. It's an honor to invite Professor Dr. Sasmita Samant for inaugural address. Madam, over to you. Madam, voice is not audible.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Our Honorable Chief Mr. Dilip Kumar Bisoi, Honorable State Information Commissioner, Odisha. Namaskar. And all the esteemed guests, Professor Malay Kumar Mohanty, the former president of OCA and the managing editor of Orissa Journal of Commerce. Respected Professor Pradyot Kesari Pradhan, the former vice president of OCA and associate editor of Indian Journal of Commerce. Madam Dr. Rasmi Misra, the principal of DHENKANAL, and the convener of this event, Mr. Rajanikant Khuntia, who has taken all the pen and organized this event, all the respected delegates present here. Now we all are struggling with a pandemic and trying to get lots of insights from this on-to-do circumstances. And since 7 to 8 months, the whole world is experiencing a situation which was never thought of, which was never planned, or which was never in our dream or in our, I can say that in our mind. So in that situation, lots of things are happening in and around us, which is not only helping us to get the ways and means to solve the issue, but also it is helping the whole mankind to introspect ourselves. During this eight months, what I have observed, and in my research of human psychology, I have found that now we all are going or thinking to have a society which is social centric and human centric. Being a professor of human resource management, I had discussed with several industrial leaders just 2-3 days back, particularly the MDs of few companies and directors of few companies. And while discussing with them, while discussing about the vision of the future workplace, we all are discussing on how the workplace in the future will be changing. And in that discussion, whatever solution was coming out, like putting utmost importance about the human perspective. It can be emotional intelligence, it can be spiritual intelligence, it can be the human application of human AI, it can be the application of any other tools or the tools of human analytics. Whatever we are discussing about implementing the strategy in workplace, that was moving around just the human perspective approach. And that approach, while we are discussing the today's topic, when we are discussing about both migration and rehabilitation of the people, and I think that to make this objective successful, we all have to go for a human-centric approach. And why we are thinking about reverse migration? Because we are conscious about human emotions, we are conscious about human human aspiration from a social life. So that's the basic objective of each one of us. And this state, since very beginning, before the Panchayati Raj system was introduced through our country, through our constitution of section 40, I think in 1948, one act was passed by the Assembly of State Government of Odisha to have a self-sustainable units in the name of Panchayat system. And the vision of the leadership was to create small units, self-sustainable unit, driven by the local leaders, or to create the local leaders to drive their system and to make that whole place the self-sustainable. But that system didn't work properly. Sometimes we say that the local leaders, they didn't get the support or the required training to drive a system. The capacity building was not done properly. Sometimes we say that the people in that area, those who were involved in any type of cottage industry or the traditional work, they are not satisfied with the livelihood they were getting at some point of time. They aspire to get more and more. So lots of reasons come out. But we have never introspected that whatever they were doing during that time, if they continued with that for generation together, how they could not grow with that while the whole system has grown, while the whole state has grown, whole country has grown, or the whole economic system of the world has grown. We never introspected that. So as a result of that, today Odisha is a state where perhaps the highest number of migrant workers will survive. And our people are going to Andhra Pradesh, they are going to Gujarat, they are going to West Bengal, they are going to Maharashtra. And only to those 4 states, around 50% of the migrant workers from this state are migrating. And while they are migrating to those places, if we leave the knowledge workers, creating the opportunities for those people in each and every place may not be possible, because for creating the opportunities for the knowledge workers, it needs lots of investment. For that sort of technology, for creating the opportunity for that, for different type of technological profile, it needs diverse. But if we little bit focus on the people who are normally migrating for the particularly for doing the work of the human, for them creating opportunity, local opportunity, I think is much more required nowadays. Now, just I was making a study that the people normally those who live in the slum in the city of Bhubaneswar, and the people those who live in the villages, they do their own farming, and their earnings, their financial earnings, maybe 50% of those small workers. What is the condition of the what is the health, hygiene, and emotional condition of the people in both the places? If we compare, we find that the people those who live in the rural area, if their financial income is even 50% than the people those who are living in a city like Bhubaneswar or any city, if their income is 50% of them, then also their social, moral, mental, and emotional health is much better than the slum people those who are staying in the city area. Because those people are away from their house, those people don't have that level of security in the way they live in the slums, in the urban areas, in the urban slums. They don't have the opportunity to talk to the people of their near and dear, or in their own network, except the social media. So they suffer from the emotional breakdown. So lots of things happen with them. And in the urban slum, we have the condition of health and the condition of hygiene in those places. So lots of difficulties are created in those places, not only for the migrants, but also for the normal inhabitants of the place. So while now we are thinking about reversing the migration and to rehabilitate those processes, I think that the self-reliance scheme of Honorable Prime Minister of this country just introduced a few months back. I think now this is the very big opportunity for the state of Odisha. If we see all those 20 avenues listed by Atmanirbhar Bharat, starting from education, healthcare, MSME, the rural economy, and agriculture, I think Odisha can very well focus on healthcare, education, and agriculture, because state of Odisha is now known in this country for education. It's known in this country. Slowly, it is growing up as the health sector and the health tourism sector. Also, the state of Odisha is growing too fast. Or I can say Bhubaneswar and the nearby cities like Cuttack, Puri taking together, the health tourism concept is growing in the state. Third is agriculture sector. In agriculture, Odisha can invest a lot and grow a lot. And if we focus in those areas, and if we see the investment plan of government of India in those sector, it's very huge. I had read some of the literature on that, particularly the planning of government of India for converting the health sector from a general livelihood sector to the enterprising sector. The plan in the way from the central level up to the panchayat level, or up to the village level and the individual level, the plan, whatever has been made, if it is being executed properly, I think that the farmers in the grassroots level will be benefited a lot. Today, I believe, working in KIIT, we have seen that when 10,000 people, we all work in KIIT, put our efforts together, and the institution is growing so fast, each one of us are also growing with the system. And we all have experienced and realized that it is much more easier to grow in a system than to grow individually. If individual of the person, they put their efforts individually, want to grow, it becomes very difficult because each and every individual is having some strength. But when we all put our efforts together for a system, then the weaknesses of each and every individual is nullified in the system. If I am not very good in communication, somebody else is good in communication, but technologically I am very good, then my strength of technology is driven by the communication of somebody else. So the system grows. So today, why do we find the migrants worker from the state is so huge? And now it is the time after COVID-19 pandemic, those people have already come to the state. And today we find, in particularly in the construction sector, lots of migrant workers from different states are coming and they are working in state of Odisha also. Particularly in Bhubaneswar, each and every place we find those people, that they are working in the people from Bihar, people from West Bengal, they are migrating to state of Orissa to work in construction sector. And in health sector also, we find particularly the lower level, in the health attendance level, in nursing level, people from different states, they are migrating and they are working in different hospitals of the state of Orissa. Because the both the cities have grown very fast in hospital and healthcare sector. So those people are migrating from the neighboring states and they are working here. So if we little bit focus of restructuring our working system, or the restructuring our workplaces and work structure, I think the migrant workers from the state also, we can create some opportunities for them. And in Atmanirbhar Bharat, the facilities, the opportunities will be created because our Honorable Prime Minister has declared around 20 trillion budget to be invested in those 5 years. So if it is being invested in the way it has been planned, that for agriculture 20,000 crores, for fisheries and the allied sector 20,000 crores, in the way if it is being invested as it is planned, I think now state can take the opportunity of proper execution of those plans and investing in different sectors to rehabilitate those migrant workers. Today, we all find that in some sector like teaching of the school teachers, we find that their teaching system has been structured in such a way that anyone from any panchayat or any district, they're supposed to work in the same district only. So those people need not have to migrate to different districts. So very well the state government has structured that process. And for the health workers also, the state government has structured that the health workers, those working under the state government, they are supposed to work in the same district itself. They need not have to migrate because they are not paid so heavily that they can survive, they can stay comfortably in other districts. So in that way, perhaps for that is planned in such a way. For all the sectors, maybe we can take action that it can be planned accordingly. Today we are seeing that technologies are creating lots of disruptions in societies, in industries, and also in our day-to-day life. And technologies are coming, and this pandemic has taught each one of us that perhaps maybe after 10 years, nobody from this country will migrate to USA and Europe for doing any knowledge work. Everybody can work from their home. This since last 8 months, my my own brother and my cousins, they're working in USA, Europe, and different places. But we find now they are staying at home and they are working from home itself since last 8 to 9 months. So if it is possible, maybe in the next 5 to 6 years, some technology will be developed that people need not have to, the knowledge workers need not have to move from country to country or district or state to state to work. They will sit at their home and work. But coming to the rural economy, as the lot many plans have been done, not only to invest, but also to execute the work. And our main issues of the people of government of India is that we have never learned to market ourselves. I sometimes introspect myself that because we are taught since very beginning that Namranti Phalanti Brukhya, that the people, those who deserve, they did not have to market that. They have to be very soft and they should be docile. Maybe because of that, we are not able to market our own strength. But while I discuss with my students, I say that maybe today today the meaning of that sentence is that the Namranti Phalanti Brukhya means we all should market ourselves, position ourselves in the judicious position, in the judicious place in the society, but with humbleness. Maybe today that's the requirement of the state. So thanks to all the delegates for participating in this conference. I think that it will be a very nice deliberation because this topic is fitting to the requirement of the situation. We all are expecting that the whole world will go through this COVID-19 maybe for another 1 year. Most of the studies say that this pandemic will be over by end of 2021. So we all are expecting to go through such situation for a longer time. We all are expecting that the whole world will be going through economic crisis. Maybe the whole world will be getting -3 GDP in the next year, this year and next year. And what will happen, nobody knows it. But we all will be expecting that, yes, we all should come out happily from this pandemic and see the world in a better way. We all are expecting to see the world in a better way. I would like to thank Rajni that he has convened the webinar in this topic at this time, and all the delegates present here. I see lots of enthusiasm in them for attending this conference. I hope that they will be getting lots of educational input and lots of intellectual thoughts to fight with this situation, fight with this problem. And after this webinar, I will request Rajni to submit a report to Government of Odisha about the outcome of this webinar, because it's the most important topic to be discussed in the state today itself. So each one of us will be educated through this webinar. So thank you. Thanks to the chief guest for accepting the invitation of Dr. Rajnikant, and thanks to all the delegates and panelists and all the rest. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. We will definitely do that. We will make a report and convey this to government. And thank you for your valuable suggestion and input for the topic. He is a practical academician and a true academic administrator emerging from the grassroots with exposure and experience in all the fields. He has a vast experience in the field of academic establishment, finance, teaching, as well as in research. He was the former registrar of Ravenshaw University and the former controller of the examination, Utkal University. He was also the former president of Odisha Commerce Association. Though he has been retired from his service as a professor, but not retired from his contribution to academic field. Now he is the managing editor of Odisha Journal of Commerce, which is a UGC care listed journal. He is the World Bank training nodal officer of Odisha Higher Education Program for Excellence and Equity. He was also a student and a teacher of this institution. So it's a proud moment for all of us. It's a privilege to invite Professor Malay Kumar Mohanty to address the gathering. Sir, over to you.
Thank you, Rajani. Honorable Information Commissioner of Odisha, Mr. Dilip Bishoyji, who instantly agreed to give his deliberation on this particular topic during this webinar on the first request. And we are all grateful to him for his instant appreciation of this type of work. Madam Sasmita Samant, who is an inspiration to all these academic activities throughout as the president of Odisha Commerce Association, as well as the Vice Chancellor of KIS University and Pro Vice Chancellor of KIT University. He has given all logistic support for this type of webinars. Under his guidance and support, we have already conducted 4 national and international webinars in this forum. I also express my sincere thanks to my colleague, Dr. Professor Prajot Kesari Pradhan, who is a very close friend of mine and a good academician. Also, I am grateful to the principal of DHENKANAL College, Madam Misra, for instantly agreeing to host this webinar from his college when the topic was suggested to her. I am also sincerely thankful to two of our foreign delegates, Dr. Sheikh Zakir Hussain, who is a student, a scholar of mine, and now settled at Bahrain, and to the resource person from Fiji, Australia continent, Suresh ji. We are in touch with him always, and all the honorable participants who have registered for this webinar. Their number is approximately 800 or more, like that. I am thankful to Rajni for taking the responsibility of this webinar. The topic which has been assigned to me to talk on or to discuss is COVID-19, reverse migration scenario and possibilities of rehabilitation in Odisha. First part, the reverse migration scenario, in which I shall have to give a picture of the migration or reverse migration position in India. For containing the spread of coronavirus, on March 24th in the evening at 8 p.m., Prime Minister Narendra Modi, in his televised address to the nation, announced a complete nationwide lockdown from midnight, giving only exact 4 hours time to the people to prepare for the situation or prepare for themselves for this. It was the world's largest and stringent lockdown. More than 1.404 crore migrant workers across the country were panicked to return to their house or home state amid COVID-19 for a pandemic-led livelihood crisis. They have no job on the next day, no food, many of them didn't have any shelter during the lockdown period because the house owners or landlords asked them to vacate the houses as they can't pay the rent. They irrespective of the age, whether he's a kid or a young man or a woman or an old man or whatever it may be, irrespective of the age, irrespective of sex, irrespective of health condition, they were forced to by the situation to return. Many of the reverse migrants, while coming to their own state, died on the road while walking 1,000 kilometers, many by accident and some due to lack of food, water, or even hard heat of sun, because it was March, April, May. So this was a very panic situation, very pathetic situation, those who have observed TVs during those days. Later, Minister of Railways started and Government of India and state governments started bringing out their migrant laborers. Minister of Railways provided 4,611 Shramik special trains. Further, 63.07 lakh migrant workers were shifted to various destinations located in UP, Bihar, Jharkhand, Odisha, MP, West Bengal, etc. Because from these states, migrants had been gone to Gujarat, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, or Karnataka, or Delhi, etc. So food and water during that period, while they were traveling the train, food and water was also provided for all at free of cost by the Railway Ministry and Government of India, and in some cases by the state governments. Then that particular situation created a panicness among the workers who do not get a ticket for moving from their own state. They had to walk, they had to come by bicycles, and on the road we have seen what a girl was carrying her father in a cycle for 1,000 kilometers, for which everybody has in the country has has admired her challenge to take his ailing father in the cycle for 1,000 kilometers. The demand for work under this was because they do not have their livelihood at their native places. Whether it is Odisha, whether it is Chhattisgarh, whether it is UP or Bihar, they were forced to go to those distant places having no saving at all. But migration is also from Gujarat and Maharashtra, Gujarat and Rajasthan to Odisha. They are the rich people of the country. They have come for their business. Migrants are there from Odisha to Karnataka, Bangalore or Bombay or Chennai or elsewhere or America or foreign country for their employment. But this type of migration of poor workers, those who do not get their livelihood to take 2 square meals for the family members of theirs in their own place, they had to go for working there as dadan or for some remuneration, etc. And when they came back to Odisha, to their own place, they found that there is no job for them in their own village or own place. Again, most of them has went back. From Ganjam district, we know more than 5 lakh people have already gone back again, who had been to Ganjam, has created a panic in that district during the month of their arrival or thereafter, for which the government has started to give them employment under Manrega scheme, that is Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee, and it is increased by 40% during this pandemic period. Pandemic period, government has increased the allotment, budget allocation for this particular purpose, 40% extra. Whether it will solve the purpose or not, that is different thing. In the fiscal year of 2021, this 40% enhancement has been made. And this is for the mass reverse migration of migrant laborers to rural India. As on 12th September 20, in the first fiscal year 2021, 8.29 crores of beneficiaries were provided employment under Manrega scheme. Besides that, 2 other schemes are has been enacted. That is one, Occupational Safety, Health and Working Condition Code 2020. Code on Social Security 2020 were also introduced. Further, 29 labor laws have been merged into 4 codes, of which one is already passed in the parliament. So these are all the steps which have been taken by government of India and India and by the state governments. Besides that, I'll give you some statistics in the initial part because to give the scenario. The migrant workers started walking back to their homes, and as they lost their jobs, the 63.07 lakh migrant workers had been shifted to various destinations in their own state, like Berhampur, like Cuttack, like Khordha, something like that. But from that particular place to their home, to their villages, there was no such arrangement, adequate arrangement at that time, because the state governments were not prepared to receive so much of migrant laborers returning by train on that particular day to that particular station and to varied destinations in rural areas. So that was a panic situation. Some of them faced accident, some of them were detained hours in one place to go, and some of them pulled the train and ran away to their home, which created havoc in the spread of corona in Ganjam district also. And the migrant laborers who were reversed, those who came back, their percentage 75 of the total migrants of the country in only 5-7 states. These are UP, Bihar, Jharkhand, West Bengal, Odisha, and MP. These states have maximum labor force, but they do not have any job in their own native place. The government shall have to take into consideration, central government specifically, don't boost Punjab, don't boost Gujarat or Rajasthan or Maharashtra or Karnataka, because they don't have that type of every man is a voter, and by the vote they have gone to the center. They should take responsibility of rehabilitating these people in these areas. If these migrant laborers of Gujarat, of Ganjam district or Odisha, Nagad, or some parts of Odisha are going to Surat for what? For textile mills, working there in textile mills. They should be provided work here because they are skilled in that area. They are skillful workers. There are 14 spinning mills in Odisha, out of which now 11 has been shut down. They should be reopened, not giving by subsidy to the people who are sitting idle in the village and consuming the income tax which is provided by the middle class. They should be provided with the livelihood. These 11 spinning mills should be allowed to function. Even OTM, which was a flagship industry by the Honorable Chief Minister, Mr. Biju Patnaik, that has now been closed. That is to be opened by talking, by negotiating, not inviting by the mines users, but by utilizing these resources from Gujarat. We will provide you everything. We will provide you land. We will provide you building. But come to Odisha and start your spinning mill, start your textile mill in Odisha, so that the people of Ganjam will not go to that place. They will be rehabilitated here. So similar steps should be taken by the government. And those who died on the road, they died on what, in which way? That is the statistics. I am mentioning 5 of them. Many died on the road. Some of them by hunger, some of due to exhaustion, some of due to dehydration, some were crossed under train or vehicles on the road. These were no precaution was taken to protect their lives while returning back. However, the Samik special trains were announced from 1st May 2020, which brought many workers back to their place, or else the casualty would have been much more. The number who, besides that, Manrega is a scheme which was introduced to provide rural workers employment, was not suitable. Those who are working in colleges, they can't serve in hospitals. Those who are serving in hospitals, they can't work in agricultural field. Those who are working in mills or construction, they cannot go to the agricultural field. So appropriate rehabilitation is not made by any government, neither by the state governments nor by the central government. They should have been provided that type of work where they are skillful, which is hereditary by their nature, or over the years they have earned that. So that should be taken. Care of. By spending or allocating so much of money will not suffice, will not be sufficient to give them work. For example, in Ganjam district, salt is abundantly available in Odisha. No government industrialist has been invited to establish a salt factory. But we are taking salt to Assam, we are taking salt to Gujarat, and there it is established because it is also producing salt. But in Odisha can produce it also, but no effort has been made. These spinning mills, they can get cotton from Kalahandi, some parts of Balangir and Baud, etc. No spinning mill is operating in those areas. They are going to Gujarat for the working. So what is rehabilitation? If you are not given work in the area in which you are skillful, then what is the meaning of rehabilitation? Then, as for one statistics, International Labour Organization and Asian Development Bank, 41 lakh jobs were lost in the country due to pandemic by this type of workers who are skillful in some area, but they were not given that opportunity. That is the statistics of international organization, 2 international organizations, ILO and ADB. The government should have alternative skill development programs in sector. We are announcing that skill development programs should be introduced. But can you say, I have met the people from Sonpur, people from Bargarh district, people from Balangir, people from Sambalpur will never come to Bhubaneswar even if they were given to have their handlooms in Bhubaneswar or Puri. they will concentrate themselves there. Even from Nuapatna and Maniamon, they will not come to Cuttack, which is the district headquarters. So where they are skillful, they are earning 200 rupees. I had been 3 days back, I had been to Nuapatna, where I interacted with a family. The husband is earning 200 rupees by the weaving, and wife is earning 200 by weaving, and they are happy in their own area because they are looking to their kids, they are looking to their agricultural land, etc. But we are asking them if we rehabilitate them, we will give some work in the village work, the road construction, digging up a pond or something like that. This is not rehabilitation at all. This is misutilization of government fund. So this is another part. Government should have alternative development programs in different sectors like nursing, beautification courses, textile, food processing, and some other areas I am cottage industry, agriculture. Few days back, I have seen it in one TV channel that a man from Baris Moja, I have not remembered that name of the village, Sarchua, it is village name. From 10 to 10 by 10 pond, plastic pond, he has earned 1 lakh rupees by fishery. 10 foot in 10 by 10 pond, he earned 1 lakh rupees. I had been to this Nishchint Koil area 7 days back. There I saw by cultivation of vegetables, one is able to earn what he can earn in traditional paddy cultivation. So we shall have to plan accordingly where their skill is there, where more profit is there, where they can boost the economy. That should be encouraged. But for this, I have identified some areas because the Information Commissioner is sitting in the panel. That cottage industry, agriculture, dairy or animal husbandry like goatry, poultry, forestry, that is minor forest products, plantations, tourism, electrical mechanism and plumbering, garment manufacturing, cooperatives, vending business, floriculture, horticulture, handicraft, handloom, construction work, housekeeping, domestic assistance and healthcare, automobile, micro business of food, etc. are to be developed in village areas, so they will not come to the cities and form clusters of the Jhupdi Bastis in the cities, and they will damage both the village life in their area, native place, and in the city life also. And for resettling them, resettlement. And for this, we shall have to take one challenge. We are electing local representatives. Let it be in the panchayat level. There should be accountability. If we are enforcing that if a person is having more than two children, then he is ineligible. Similarly, there should be given some remuneration. And instead of engaging teachers in different activities, census or other activities, these public representatives should be given the task of that, and they should be fixed, given accountably. If they give any improper person a card, then he will be accountable and will be placed in behind the bars. Then only panchayats and the rural areas will improve, and there will be no migration. And what is the question of reverse migration will occur? This is about the area. Even in Ganjam district, most of the people in Nayagarh district, most of the people are going for manual labor. They should be provided with manual work in different fields, not only in the Surat only. In Odisha, we can trace out some activities. So these are the areas, gray areas, where we can discuss. Because of the constraint of time, I am not able to discuss many things. I could have given many statistics. I have collected it for example, the Pradhan Mantri Rozgar Yojana, except that Uttar Pradesh, where 97.75% of building has been constructed. People of these areas can do it. In Orissa, it is only 53%, but in Damandu, it is 86%. I am talking of a big state, a middle class category state, and small state. We are not utilizing the fund which is available to us, and we can utilize the labor force. We have not yet. And many such Jharkhand government is preparing more plans for providing employment opportunity to the people. The scheme is Sarkar Aapke Dwar Mein. These are the possibilities for construction of check dam in the rivers, and for construction of playgrounds, etc. Even Uttarakhand government is creating jobs on topmost priority. That is Mukhyamantri Swarojgar Yojana is a major tool for achieving the industry, agriculture, cooperation, animal husbandry, tourism, forest, etc. So these type of activities should be taken up by the state government by utilizing the central fund. And the central government also should allocate on these heads, not on a lump sum on Pradhan Mantri Rozgar Yojana like this. So all these things should be taken care of. Because of the constraint of time, Rajini is looking at me for the time is passing out. And I am also eagerly waiting to listen to Mr. Bisoi, who is a very good columnist, panelist, journalist, and now this information commissioner. I express my sincere thanks to all the organizers, to all the participants, and the resource persons at the same time. Thank you all.
I can remember one famous quote of Kofi Annan: extreme poverty anywhere is a threat to human security everywhere. So you have rightly pointed out the grassroots level. Thank you, sir, for your brief idea on the topic and igniting the session. Next, we have, he is an education reformer and very well known among academicians for his human relation ability. He is a Shiksha Ratna awardee from India International Friendship Society, New Delhi. He was a professor of Utkal University and has produced many PhD scholars, published a number of articles in different national and international journals. He is the author of many books. He is a fellow of Indian Commerce Association, vice president of Utkal University Teachers Association, was the vice president of Odisha Commerce Association, executive member of All India Accounting Association, and he is the associate editor of Indian Journal of Commerce. More than that, he is a very popular teacher. It's an honor to invite Professor Pradyot Kesari Pradhan to enlighten the session. Sir, over to you, sir.
Honorable Information Commissioner, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, audible.
Honorable Information Commission, Mr. Bisoi, Mrs. Sasmita Samant in absentia, Professor Malay Kumar Mahanti, Dr. Suresh Kumar Pandey, and Dr. Zakir Sheikh, Dr. Rasmi Misra, Principal of DHENKANAL Autonomous College. Welcome all of you to this webinar on reverse migration and rehabilitation possibilities in Odisha. So all on a sudden, in March, there was something unprecedented happened. So all on a sudden, people were without jobs and they wanted to come back to the source from the destination places. So it is because of the reason that for the past lockdown period, they were prepared for that and they tried to manage themselves within the means, meager means that was available to them. And after that, when the second lockdown was declared, then there was no means available to them, and the kind of situation that they were passing through that forced them to come back to their homeland or to the source from which they have gone. And it is because that from destination they are coming back to the source, it is known as reverse migration. And for four regions that people are going for or migrating to other places, there are economic region, there are social region, there are technological region, and environmental regions also. And in case of Odisha, we find that most of barring some few, most of the migrants are from economic regions because subsistence level and just to make a living outside because the means of livelihood is not available in the places where they reside. And it is for this reason that, for that reason, we classify those migrant workers into three categories. One is permanent migrants, and second one is seasonal migrants, and the third one is footloose migrants. So, in case of permanent migrants, that means that people, those who have gone with the jobs with a permanent appointment and have their own setting, residential setting there, and they have migrated, and there is a secured means of livelihood there. And most of the migrants from Odisha are from the western Odisha are seasonal migrants to most of the places in Chhattisgarh or Andhra Pradesh to brick manufacturing units, construction sites. And because after the rainy season and when the work of agriculture is over, then they are going to different places to earn a living because the means of livelihood is not available after the agriculture is not able to hold them to their working places because of the small land they are having, and they are not getting the right kind of means of livelihood to provide them the subsistence level. Then the second thing that comes into picture, that when we look at the number of migrants in different states, then the survey states that around 14 point some odd percentage have gone to Andhra Pradesh, 13 point some odd percentage has gone to Surat, and some to West Bengal, and some to Maharashtra. Most and some are going to Kerala. So the kind of conditions in which they are living, I had 1 year experience of staying at IIM Ahmedabad, and while I was passing through Surat, I feel that on the slums of nearer to Surat station, that mostly are inhabited by Odia people, and you may hear Rangavati songs and all that. And the kind of unhygienic conditions, but there was no other way out for them. And it is because that in the lure of earning some more money than is available at their places of residence, that they have preferred to go to Surat and other, and because so that is why and the second one is the seasonal workers, those who are going to the bricklin, and most of them are in the informal sector and unorganized sector. And there is no clear database that what is the number of migrants from Odisha to other states or some other states to Odisha. Because of that, we are not in a position to plan for the proper rehabilitation of that. Government has created some more sahaya for the migrants, and getting the information from them. Government is planning to make rehabilitation packages for them, and 20 crore Manrega hours have been created by Odisha government, but that is not sufficient, or that is not able to hold the reverse migrants in case of Odisha. Because as Professor Mahanti has told that when the people from Surat or Gujarat came by bus, and they found that, and because for some time in the past there is a dilemma between whether life is more important or livelihood is more important. So that is why, so in the earlier stages, they feel that life is more important, and so that is why they have come to Odisha, that yes, somehow we will be able to live in our land of our origin. And even if some people feel that if I die, I should die at my own place. So that is why they felt that in the initial stages of the pandemic, life was more important. But when they came here and they are out of the COVID dilemma, so now livelihood becomes more important. If livelihood is there, life will be there. So that is why even the government of India also realized that, and they started developing the places that where the livelihood will also be sustained, so that life will be possible. So that is why most of them have gone back to their respective places. Even when this reverse migration, there is shortage of labor at the destination places and the surplus labor at the source. But the surplus labor at the source is not getting any scope to utilize their talent or whatever skill that they have acquired. They are not getting the scope for that. Then you take the case of Gram Vikas. Gram Vikas has made a survey in Ganjam district, and to find out that what is the opinion of the reverse migrants, that what should be done so that Odisha will be able to hold them in their respective places. They said that we want to get rupees 375 rupees per day, around 10,000 rupees, so that we will be able to manage that. And getting the 10,000 rupees in their home or the village, it is a Herculean task. And Gram Vikas has made a survey, and they said that in order to generate that employment, and if you say that investment 20% return is there, then for each panchayat there will be 1,000 crore is required to sustain the livelihood. It is a very difficult job, but what should be done that so that we'll be able to manage this reverse migration, and people will not be interested to go back, so that they will be provided with acceptable means of livelihood. Acceptable means of livelihood means that government of Madhya Pradesh has taken a lead in going for skill mapping of the migrant laborers. So skill mapping of migrant labor means that what are the skill sets that they are endowed with, whether there will be some possibilities of matching those skill sets with the local conditions, and if that is possible. So as Professor Mahanti was telling that if they have come from Surat, then Ganjam should have more of spinning mills. Odisha has gone through so many experimentations with that. So many spinning mills have been closed down, and because whatever that you do, that must find a place at the marketplace for the consumers. So if that is not there, then whatever things that you produce will be with you only, and because of the lack of marketing facilities, so many handicrafts and handloom they are facing a lot of difficulties in life. And most of the handloom weaving places, it is because unless it is specialized one like your Maniaband or your Bargad or something like that, then if it is a general nature, then most of the spinning mills, weaving mills, the handloom factories have been closed down. As it is because that now the machine-made things are available, and the handloom has lost its charm with the consumers. So for this reason, so they have gone to Surat and they have earned a living for themselves, and it may not be possible for us. And we have also experimented with cotton growing in Kalahandi, and because Odisha is affected by vagaries of nature. So whether it is drought, it is flood, it is heavy rain, or it is low rain, most of the time the Odisha is affected by cyclone. So you can see the people, agriculture will not able to bind them. So for what is the region? Suppose take for example, we have gone for a potato mission, we have gone for a tomato mission, Bilati and all that. But you have seen the distress selling in Banki, distress selling in Keonjhar, or even so all these things have happened. So unless there is a secured market for them, then engaging them or putting them into productive work in the agriculture may not be a worthwhile proposition, because we are lacking in infrastructure. That is, the cold storage facilities are not available. So in those cases, whatever things that they will be producing, and if that are not getting the customer at the right time, it is perishable commodity, and then they will not be getting the money for their investment. And again, it will again be put into the same tragic situation as they have been before. And so that is why migration is required, because as per the skill sets that they are finding avenues for employment elsewhere, and that will also sustain national integration, that people will be moving from different places, there will be cultural integrations and all that. But in this kind of a situation of a pandemic, when suddenly they have been forced to come here, then there is no scope for us. So what should we do? That there must be agro processing units, that means the infrastructure must be developed. Then we must, because if you go to Calcutta, if you go to Surat, then if you go to Marathali in Bangalore, you may find out the unhygienic conditions that people are living. But so they don't find much better conditions in their villages. So if the villages are made much better, and why there is influx of people from rural to urban centers, it is because the means of livelihood as well as the standard of living. So that is why they are not getting drinking water, they are not getting this. So that is why, if all these facilities are available at their doorstep, at their village, village will be a better place which will bind them to their village. Then the person who have gone outside, they have the better outlook. They have this outlook can also be utilized, the experience, the skills that they have acquired, the outlook that they have developed, that can also be utilized in developing, because they have seen the outer world, how people are doing there, what can also be done in our state. So their experiences can also be utilized if we'll meet them, if we'll find them that what would it be which will make them stick to their homeland, and what is the better avenues available elsewhere, whether the same avenues can also be created in the places where we are they have come down. Then if you say that Odisha government has announced 17,000 crores package to provide employment and income generation under special livelihood intervention plan. So it is in the area of agriculture, fisheries, animal resource, Manrega, forest, handloom and handicraft sector. So that can also be utilized. And because rural demand is decreasing because increasing joblessness, that means when they have come down to their homeland and people have increased, and the demand for, because they have no money with them, so the demand for goods and services have come down. So that is why we should develop, it is said in the context of India, India is the second biggest producer of fruits and vegetables. So if agro-processing units can start in fruits and vegetables, and the sufficient infrastructure, cold storage, storage facilities will be available, then it will be possible for us to contain the reverse migration issue. Then development of multiple economic clusters and developing surrounding rural areas. So when the economic clusters will be developed and surrounding rural areas will be developed, then they should be producing specialized product which is marketable as in a global context. Professor Mehrotra of Jawaharlal Nehru University has said that in UAE, a city near Wuhan he has visited, in a small village, that all of them are engaged in producing lighters, cigarette lighters, and they said that all of them are engaged in producing that because it is having a global market. So similarly, we can also think of producing something which is cost effective, which is least costly, and is having a global market, so that it will be possible for us to keep them engaged, and their minimum sustenance level will be met, and will be in a position to give them the proper rehabilitation package. So mapping the skill sets and designing the activities, designing the plans as per the skill set to match the possibilities of rehabilitating, and areas of agro processing, and then sometimes it is also seen that we can also think of, because this pandemic will not continue for all time to come. So after this pandemic is over, the people will be eager to go back to their earlier destination places. And there have been so many, as Professor Mahathir was telling, Code 2020, or even Interstate Migrant Workmen's Act 79, all of them have been enacted, but it is not properly implemented, and which is leading to the position of workmen in different states at a very precarious situation, but there is no other way out for them. So having the similar situation is, as we have seen that when the pandemic started, then the government of Odisha could have contacted the destination places, requested the government of the destination state that to contain them at their own place, and the money that they have invested with them here, they could have been sent to those states, so that they could have been managed at that places, so that the situation as it is coming down, that they have come to Odisha, spreaded the disease, and then now again they have gone back to the earlier places, because the employers, they are lacking in they are finding shortage of labor, and they have arranged their transportation and all that, and they have taken them back to their earlier places. So that is why the proper coordination with the destination states, and developing a strong database. That means how much of migration is taking place in which sector, in with what skill set, and the cause of this migration, and so that the government will be able to plan properly regarding the way they will be able to manage this pandemic. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Sir, you have rightly discussed how to strike a balance between lives and livelihood, and the challenges and opportunity available for reverse migrant laborers in Odisha. Thank you, sir, for enlightening the session. He is an eminent journalist having a distinguished professional career of over 30 years. He has served reputed national English dailies like the Indian Express and the Financial Express for nearly 35 years in states like Punjab, Andhra Pradesh, and Odisha. He has led one of the popular TV channels of Odisha, MBC TV, as its editor-in-chief. Before that, he was heading one of the largest circulated Odia dailies, The Samaya, as editor. He is a very popular face in various TV channels, often appears in debate panels on current affairs. He has also contributed articles to various English and Odia newspapers. For his outstanding contribution to Indian journalism, he has been conferred with several awards. He has received Hall of Fame Chanakya Award for the Best Business Journalism by Public Relations Council of India, and Punjab Journalist Association Award for Courageous Journalism during Khalistan movement in Punjab. He has also received the Best Journalist Award from the New Delhi-based Council for Media and Satellite Broadcasting. Being a man of English literature, he has a passion for creative writing, writing short stories and plays. His short stories have been published in leading Odia literary magazines like Paschima, Navalipi, Kadambini, being associated with various committees of state government and other organizations. He has acquired immense knowledge about public policy. As a financial journalist, he has written a book on Odisha government's debt management titled as Odisha Public Debt. Besides this, to his credit, he has graced a number of national and international seminars as a resource person. After all, he is a man of many facets. It's a real pleasure and honor for having such a resource person with us. I would like to invite today's chief guest, Mr. Dilip Kumar Biswai, Honorable State Information Commissioner, Odisha. Sir, now the session is yours. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Kuntia, convener of this seminar, and the head of the Department of Commerce, DHENKANAL Autonomous College, and I heard many of the erudite professors like Professor Dr. Sasmita Samant, Professor Malayo Mahanti, and Professor Pradyot Kishore Pradhan, and we have in the panel also Professor Sheikh Zakir Hussain and Sri Suresh ji. Samastanku namaskar. The topic today we have got is migration, reverse migration, and initiative of central and state government for rehabilitation of Odia workers in Odisha. I must congratulate the convener and his team for selecting such a very relevant topic, timely topic for discussion. And whatever my previous speakers said were totally very valuable for all of us, and they spoke from their heart. So it is very useful to all the participants and for me also. I must tell you that the COVID-19 pandemic has created virtually a new world. And suddenly, this new world has poured upon us. And out of shock, we are not able to do what we should do. And that makes life miserable. Migration is as old as human civilization, or you may say human history. When we are living in forest millions of years ago, we migrate for hunting. Then we started migrating for agriculture field. Now we are migrating for more money, better life. When 2000 years back, Megasthenes visited India and he wrote about India in his Indiga book. He has mentioned about the migration from northwestern side to down south, So migration is a phenomenon very old as human beings' history. But recently, we were shocked to see the problem of migration, the problem of migrant workers. When we saw on the television channel that lakhs of migrant workers walking on the road, piling on the trucks, returning to their home, cycling to their home, back 1,000 miles away. It gave an impression of the 1947 migration during the partition, Great Partition. We were not eyewitnesses to those phenomena, but what happened early this year certainly is an eye-opener for all of us. The size of migrant workers, their problem, that has suddenly come face to face. And that is why we got disturbed and we tried our best to help the migrant workers so that their life will be returned to normal. Virtually, their life almost shattered because of this pandemic, which followed by the economic close down. I don't want to blame anybody for this crisis. It is a crisis because of the pandemic, and for that, many decisions have to be taken. First, we have to fight against the pandemic to save the life of the people. So that was in the priority. So whatever decisions were taken, so those decisions for me was appropriate at the right time. Now it seems that those decisions may be wrong, but that is not. When you think about 6 months ago, the situation was not livelihood, the situation was life. So now we are talking of livelihood. And migration for Orissa is certainly a big issue. Rightly, Professor Pradhan was saying there were 3 types of migration. One is permanent migration, one is seasonal migration, one footloose migration. We are very much worried in Orissa for seasonal migrations, distress migrations. But actually, we are not aware that the volume of migration for better opportunity is bigger than this distress migration. So we need not be worried for migration. Migration as such is good so far as economy is concerned of an area. So we must accept that migration has to happen for the better of the mankind. There is a issue whether the government of India or the state government, they properly manage this situation. In the initial period, certainly both the central government and state government fumbled because it's not their fault. It's because they were not aware of the size of the migrant workers. So far as 2011 census is concerned, the total migration is 450 million. recently the Union Labor Minister, the Santosh Gangwar, he has asked a expert bureau to find out the size of the migrant labor. The Kolkata University Professor Emeritus S.P. Mukherjee is heading that expert group, and that group is working on that so that we will know what is the exact size of the migrant workers. I must remind you, when the Odisha government started seeing the problem, first when they stumbled upon 3 buses coming from Surat with migrant workers, they found them on the border. So they become alerted that the people are started coming and entering into the state. So then they started a strategy how to handle this migration of the people, migrant people coming back to their home. And for that they started registration, and they started erecting this uh, uh, isolation houses for the migrant workers, and they made a decision to receive those migrant workers from the railway station and send them to those isolation centers. Uh, uh, so these they took place, and they also gave an incentive that if you will be in this join this isolation center, you will get 2,000 rupees. So all these incentives were announced. But when they started this, they said we are expecting about 4 lakh migrants. But ultimately, it came out to be 12 lakh migrants. I don't know. It may be much more because some people must have come of their own. So the state government was not aware of the total number of migrant workers. So that is the same thing with the government of India. So only they can, the government of India and the state government, they could know of the this enormous size of the migrant workers when they saw into the television channels. On the television screens, when they saw that thousands and lakhs of migrant workers are walking on the road, cycling, and coming in trucks, buses, so they could realize. Thank God at that time, the Sushant Singh Rajput case was not happened. The Riya Chakrabarti has not happened. Otherwise, we may have seen these Sushant Singh Rajput case and Riya Chakrabarti case rather than these migrant workers' flights. So thank God, because of that, we could realize the problem of migrant workers. We must then the government of India started taking some steps. The next step, how to rehabilitate them in their villages. So the government of India announced 2 schemes. One is that Garib Kalyan Yojana, wherein about 80 crore people were fed free of food. Till today, they are continuing with that. It's almost 7 months. They are continuing with that program, free ration to over 80 crore people. And then the next step, first they thought they have to be provided with food. The next step they said, then they have to be employed. So the government decided to start this Garib Kalyan Rozgar Yojana. About 116 districts were selected, 4 from Orissa, to start this program, to give some jobs to the migrant workers according to their skill. This is in addition to the Manrega program, which Professor Mohanty was talking about, Professor Pradhan was talking about Manrega program. Certainly, Manrega program has helped the migrant workers and others also during this period. It's not only the migrant workers, but other people are also were not able to earn money, so that also helped them in getting some wages to sustain themselves. So Mr. Professor Malaya Mohanty was very optimistic about rehabilitation of migrant workers, and Professor Pradhan was a little bit pessimistic about it. But I must tell you that when we are talking of reverse migration, I don't believe any reverse migration phenomenon. I will give you two examples. One is Punjab. When Punjab was in bad shape, people started migrating to foreign countries. Even Trinidad, United Kingdom, America, Canada, they started migrating from there. And they have an advantage in migrating because some of them they had migrated there before the independence. Some of them are ex-soldiers of British Army, so they settled in Britain, Canada, and other places. So that helped them to migrate to those places. But when today Punjab is a rich state, stinkingly rich state, there is no reverse migration. The migration continues, and interestingly, Punjab sustained itself because of migration from other parts of the country, mostly Bihar, Uttar Pradesh. Similarly, the recent phenomenon is Kerala. Kerala, many people they migrated to Gulf countries because of because of their advantages, historical advantages. They migrated to Gulf countries. So there is no reverse migration. People are not coming back. They are building palatial houses in Kerala, but they are not coming back. And interestingly, people from Odisha and other places, they are going to Kerala to do the jobs that they left. So for me, reverse migration is a myth, and I will always appreciate that there should not be any reverse migration. Rather than the migration should be strengthened and more sustainable and more prosperous in coming years, so that more people will migrate, more people will earn money, and they will live a better life, and people back in Orissa will also will have a good opportunity to live a good life, decent life. Recent phenomenon you see when these migrant workers return back to Orissa, I will certainly suggest some sociologists, some psychologists, some economists to do a survey how they started affecting the social life, the economic life of rural Orissa. So because they were away from the state, so they were earning a lot of money, they're sending back money. So the people back in home, they are living a good life, and they themselves they are making a good life in their workplace. But when they come back, so all these social problems started. I am very happy that they started again going back to Surat and other places. Otherwise, we would have been facing a very serious social problem in rural Orissa. Uh, I must agree with Mr. Mahanti and Professor Mahanti and Professor Pradhan. Professor Mahanti was saying that Odisha should make some arrangement for the migration, the reverse migrant workers, those who want to come back. Yes, that's true. That has to be done. But will they come back? I don't think so. For example, I'm saying another episode which we may have forgotten. In 1994, Surat was badly hit by plague. People started dying in Surat because of plague. And at that time, about 2,04,040,000 migrant workers from Odisha, they fled from Odisha, from Surat to Odisha, and that was in September. But after December, so things started improving in Surat, and all these diamond industry, all these textile industries, they become worried how to start their factories. So at that time, I must tell you, a BJP MP was Surat MP, and he, Kashiram Rana, and at that time the chief minister was Congress chief minister Chavil Das Mehta, and the prime minister was Narasimha Rao. So a team led by the BJP MP Kashiram Rana visited Berhampur on the request of the industries, and Rana met the district collector and went to the villages and asked all the migrant workers to return back to Gujarat. And they, at that time, the Narasimha Rao government provided 3 special trains. We are hearing this Shramik special train. At that time, there were 3 Shramik special trains that took all these migrant workers to Gujarat. And for your kind information, the Narasimha Rao government didn't charge any money for this return of these workers in the train. So it is a situation where you don't think that these migrant workers are at the mercy of the factory owners in Surat or other places. It's not that. They are asset to those industries. So unless they move from Odisha, the industry will close down, and it is a national loss. And it is a loss for the Odisha also, because whatever money they will earn, they will not repatriate to Odisha. But yes, some mechanism has to be done to develop the infrastructure, develop the opportunity, job opportunity in the state, and that the government is doing, the state government is doing, the government of India is doing. But I must tell you, whatever job will be created, that is not enough for those people who are still living in the state. If you won't generate job, there will be more migration. So if you want, don't expect that there will be a reverse migration. Please try to accommodate those who are in the state by expanding your economic activities. And rightly, Pradhan was saying, where is the market? That's a very, very pertinent question. When Professor Mahanti was saying the spinning mills are closed, 11 out of 14 spinning mills closed, OTM is closed, all these things. But Pradhan is quite pessimistic. Where is the market? Really, where is the market? We don't have a market for this. And otherwise, we have people to work. And I must tell you, Odisha people are hardworking. They have earned a name in the world. The plumber of Kendrapada district are jewels of the world. I must tell you, if they will not go back to their work, the toilets in London, the toilets in Abu Dhabi, Dubai, the toilets in Mumbai, the toilets in Delhi will be choked. And they are the best plumbers in the world. I must give you a small interaction with a plumber. A young plumber was traveling with me in a train from Mumbai to Bhubaneswar. So I was asking him, what you're doing? He said, I'm a plumber. He was in fact analyzing a design, house design. So house plan or house design that he was looking at. So I said, what you are doing with this? He said, I have drawn this design, this water system and all these PhD designs for this apartment, the big apartment. So I said, what is the problem? He said, you see, I am an undermatriculate, but I have designed this, but I will get only 10% of the total amount, and rest 90% will go to an engineering firm who has qualified people, and they won't because their signature is important in Mumbai Municipality Corporation for approval of the plan. So then on my returning back, I got an opportunity. At that time, I gave a proposal to the government to design some arrangement so that these people get some certificates. They are qualified, but you have to give a certificate. So then the government started a ITI in Patamundai, plumbers by ITI. People are going there, but that is not still popular. I would say that government should and other people should make that institution popularized so that more and more plumbers will get certificate. ITI certificate will be enough. They will earn more. Whatever they are earning, they will get triple, 4 times. So that is very important. So we must. I was talking about this reverse migration. So we don't have that kind of market to accommodate all these people who come back. We are having a lot of activities in housing sector, and rightly Professor Sasmita Samanta was talking about that people from other states are coming to Bhubaneswar and working in housing sector. Yes, they're coming, they're doing the same working, but their migration is also important for Odisha. And our migration is important for Odisha also. So we should not say that we will replace them. Not necessarily you have to replace them, because we have a lot of opportunity elsewhere. And the people who are coming from Jharkhand and West Bengal, whatever they are earning, our migrant workers are earning much more. So you have to take a decision. If you want our people to earn less, then you ask them to come back. Regarding marketing, I was telling, I have a very bright example. Professor Mahanti was speaking about this cottage industries and handicraft industry. Recently, one of our entrepreneur sold a sari to Sakuntala Devi film's heroine Vidya Balan. That's a Sambalpuri Bandha sari. made by an artisan from Tikarpada, Sonpur. And many people are happy that she wore this sari, and Sambalpur sari got recognition. But when I hear that the entrepreneur, the trader, the seller of the sari had to make lot of appeal to the film actress to wear this sari in the ceremony. That is a very simple thing for me. I don't know what about Orissa. It's a very simple thing. And that sari, I will bet one of the best sari in the world, and particularly for that film, because that sari has all these symbols, mathematical symbols. But she had to be pestered to wear this sari for the film. You see the kind of humiliation our traders, our entrepreneurs have to go for selling a sari which is worth. It's not that it's not worth. And you just think about the Mr. Meher who won the sari. Could have been sold this sari to Vidyawala? No. The entrepreneur was a highly educated woman, lady, so that she could pursued her. Yes, we got a lot of advertisement. Odisha sari become popular, but the way it was sold, I will not sold, but the way she was pursued really is painful to me. So you have to make a market for it. Similarly, the failure of potato mission is the same story. We are not able to sell. We are not able to preserve that potato. And what is important is that we launched a potato mission, but we could not give the right kind of seed to the farmers. And that is why those potatoes could not be sold in the market. Those potatoes were not even fit for cold storage preservation. When this migration started, one of the TV anchor asked me, do you think that they should be rehabilitated in Odisha? I said, no, they should not be rehabilitated. Rather, they should be encouraged to go back to their workplace after this pandemic is over. Because Odisha is not capable enough to bear the burden of the huge migrant worker force. It will take a lot of time to gear up the state economy, to gear up the state infrastructure, to gear up the state social structure to accommodate the reverse migration. I will suggest that Odisha government in particular, and all the government in the country, to develop a strategy to provide all the facilities to the migrant workers, so that they won't feel that they are the second citizen in the foreign state. They are not an outsider, and they are not away from the house, and they can come back anytime to their family members. All these comforts has to be provided to them. The medical facilities, the educational facility to their children, even in Odia language also, that the state government is doing in West Bengal and Surat and other places in Andhra Pradesh they are doing. But more initiative has to be taken to provide all comforts, because they are real the economy of Odisha. They earn a lot of money for Odisha. If Odisha is today uh, graduated to a developing state, it is because of them. It is because of their money. If you see Kendrapada is a prosperous district, it is because of them. If you see Ganjam is a prosperous district, it is because of them. And some more districts are also emerging because as a prosperous state because of these migrant workers. So we must encourage them. We must ensure their safety, their well-being in the foreign places. Rightly, the government of India has come out with the idea of one nation, one ration card. That will help a lot to the migrant workers. Really, that will help a lot to the migrant workers. Similarly, the government of India should come out with an scheme that one nation, one Manrega program. Anywhere they go, they can work. The same job card will valid in Orissa and also Gujarat. So that has to be introduced so that they will not come back when there is a crisis. They will not come back. They will find job in those places, those states. That is there. And rightly, the government of India is introducing a health scheme, national health scheme. The state government is also providing a health scheme. So all these are in the right direction, but we have to go further for this betterment of these migrant workers. You see, we have a Act Interstate Migrant Workmen Regulation and Employment and Condition of Service Act 1979. So that act has to be amended and updated. Not only that, there are some other similar acts like your building workers work, construction workers work. So that has to be uh, uh, amalgamated, integrated to give a better act for the migrant workers and for their better uh, work condition. And above all, I will suggest that there should be a migrant workers commission to resolve the disputes that arises between states, between employer and employees, and the state government and the employees, all these things. So that has to be uh, taken care of. That commission has to come at the national level and also at the state level. So similar commission has to come uh, for the betterment of the migrant workers. Thank you all. I must, before closing, I must tell that I am associated with Commerce Department of Utkal University for so long time, and other Commerce Department of various colleges. I must tell you, the faculty members and the students of DHENKANAL Commerce Department, that DHENKANAL Autonomous College, so far as commerce education is concerned, is one of the best college for commerce education. When we were student at that time, the Revansa College, the Pranath College, the Kendrapada College, all these were big colleges so far as commerce education is concerned. But these days, Titlagad and DHENKANAL, they are emerging as a far better college so far as commerce is concerned. And I must tell you, students from Orissa passing out from DHENKANAL, Titlagad, smaller, even smaller town colleges, they are doing well at national level, and many prime jobs are cornered by commerce students from these colleges. Thank you, Mr. Khuntia. Thank you all panelists. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir, for your nice word. In our democracy, we have a notion that we have to do less and government has to do more. Sir, you have highlighted the practical aspect of reverse migration and what the state government is doing and addresses the trigger that is prompted by Professor Malay Kumar Mahanti and Professor Pradyut Kesari Pradhan. Thank you, sir, for your valuable insight to the topic. Thank you, sir. Now, we are fortunate enough having with us two international experts. First, let me introduce Dr. Zakir Hussain Sheikh. He is a faculty in Commercial Studies Division, Ministry of Education, Kingdom of Bahrain. He has specialization in Islamic banking and finance. He is a scholar of professional degree of certified Islamic professional accountant, accounting and auditing organization for Islamic financial institution, Kingdom of Bahrain. He has industry experience of 12 years and academic experience of 13 years. He has published numerous articles, book chapters in various reputed journals. So it's a pleasure to invite Dr. Zakir Hussain Sheikh to put a focus on international perspective on migration and reverse migration. Sir, over to you, sir.
Mr. Rajani, can I take leave?
Okay,
Mr.
sir.
Rajani, can I take leave?
Okay, sure, sir.
Thank
Actually,
you. Thank you.
okay, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Sir, Zakir, sir. Zakir, sir. Are you here?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Sir,
yes.
sir, please continue.
Sir, video is not working.
Sir, your video is not working. Then,
Yeah, for me, from your side, any I mean setting means you disable that one.
so now it is okay.
Yeah, I think it is showing. It's shown me option starting my video.
Yes, sir. Please switch on your video. Actually, just we have sent a request to start your video.
But again, it is showing same cannot.
So now it is working.
No, it is showing me that start my video option. But once I am clicking that, it is cannot detect your camera. Please try again like
Okay,
this.
at that time we can take to another resource person.
Yeah. It is
Next,
better.
it is better. Okay, sir.
Yeah. So just let me disconnect and try again.
Okay, okay, sir. So it is already midnight in Fiji. Uh, there is another resource person from international arena. It's a pleasure to introduce Dr. Suyesh Kumar Pandey. He is currently working as a faculty in School of Accounting and Law, College of Business Hospitality and Tourism Studies, Fiji National University, Fiji. He has more than 17 years of teaching and research experience. He is a member of CPA Australia. He is a member of All India Commerce Association and member of All India Accounting Association. So he is, though he is now residing in Fiji, but he has done quite something towards India. He has attended many international training programs in Fiji, New Zealand, and Australia. Published many research papers in international journals and also published a number of books to his credit. He is also an editor of an international journal. It's an honor to invite Dr. Suyesh Kumar Pandey to ignite the session. Sir, over to you.
Uh, Good evening to everyone. First of all, I would like to thank you, Professor Malaya Kumar Mohanty sir, who has given me an opportunity to join with this webinar through Mr. Rajni Kanta Kuntia sir. He's followed all the time, even though I joined very lately. He 2 times reminded that, sir, please come. I heard whatever the talks has been discussed during this webinar time through different panelists like Mr. Dilip Bisoi, Dr. Resma Mishra, Dr. Sasmita Samanta, Professor Pradyot Kesari Padma, and Professor Rajni Kumar Pradhan. Whatever the aspect I have noticed during from my all experience, where I started my career in 2003, CGM University, Kanpur, up to here in 2020, it's a very interesting topic has been chosen by this pattern of the webinar, reverse migration and rehabilitation possibility in Odisha, and the topic which has been allotted or given by me, given by the Kuntia sir or Professor Mohanty sir, migration, reverse migration of Australia continent from India, possibility of Odisha workplace. Now it's very interesting as discussed by Professor Mr. Bisoi, Dilip Bisoi, that it's not a new phenomena of the migration. The migration phenomena started as the civilization of human culture. And migration is as old as the human civilization, or you can say as old as the human history. The reason being is, if anyone want to be develop their career, or they want to search for the food, livelihood, they must have to migrate. I have noticed during some season, penguins are migrated from one side of the corner to the other side. Then some fish are migrated from the one corner of the sea to the other corner. Likewise, the human beings are also migrated within India from one state to another state to find a good job and for the growth of their survival. I remember when I and Dr. Durga Mahapatra worked in the Greater Noida Institute of Technology, GNIT, during 2009, 10, 11, and by similarly Dr. Saroj was there. Even once we attended, Professor Manoj Das was there. Then Das migrated from a great NCR region to the Gwalior, and after that he migrated from Gwalior to again in Odisha, that is the one of the university in the Odisha. I was there, I migrated in Ethiopia. From there, again, I came back in India. In 2013, I migrated in Fiji, and now I am the Fijian. Why? Because the migration gave me a good opportunity where not only can I survive myself, but I can show a good picture of my family. Now, migration is good, but why we do need to migration? What is the main phenomena? What is the controlling factor which given the lucrative action and initiative and intention to the people or in the minds of the people to get a place where they can migrate and get some jobs for the betterment of their life? I fully agree with Mr. Dilip Bisoi, whatever he discussed regarding the migration. As he discussed about seasonal migration, distress migration, and etc. And due to the COVID-19, we are talking about the reverse migration and rehabilitation possibilities in Odisha. It's the topic, good topic, but it's not only Odisha, it's all over the India, it's all over the world. We are facing the problem of the reverse migration. But let me tell you, from where I am residing, there is no any single case of COVID-19 from last 2 months. There were certain cases. The reason being the cases came, few people, they went India and they attended some namaz or in Jama Masjid, and from there they brought some cases. After that, it's separate from 8 to 27, then 50, then 80, and government of Fiji tried hard. Their officials work in day and night so that they can control. This time, you know very well, no flights are running from one station to other station. Only in Fiji, they have opened the local flights. But the most important thing is for the rehabilitation, what the government Odisha need to do. The first one, they have to think about to open a small enterprises unit. That is, we call SMEs, where the people of the Odisha can get a job at their local area and feed their family in such a manner where the outsiders are feeding their family appropriately. Second thing, the Indian products should be more competitive. How the products are manufactured in the Indian organization and where the products are as compared to the internationally or not, like the Chinese products are produced by the Chinese enterprise or industry, which are sellable to the all over the world, but they are producing the product as per the paying capacity of the customer. The same company is producing product which is sellable in the African country, Asian countries, Pacific countries, as well as the developed countries. So India must have to think the product, produce the product which can be sellable as per the paying capacity of the country, or you can say the paying capacity of the customer, which belongs to all countries. Then third one, I would like to say, in rehabilitation process, there is a need to establish the special economic zone, SEZ, where the state government, including the central government, have give to the special power or facility to the industry for the 10 years tax holiday, where there should not be any tax charge from the government or by the government to the industry. But one thing, it is going to help the people, local people, to get the employment in that industry. And that will be the most important investment for the people. Why? Because I have done my PhD. My supervisor, Professor K.S. Jaiswal, I am very thankful to him and will be thankful to for all of my life. I have done my PhD. The topic was Human Resource Accounting in India, Future Prospects for its Application. So in that, I have already covered or search or research that human is not an expense, not a labor. Human is an asset. The company who is thinking that our human is an asset, these companies are flourishing day by day. And in a special economic zone, the people will get good employment opportunity. Locals, once the locals are employed, there is no need to go or transfer from one place to another place to get the job, which we call the migration. That is, the migration means shifting from one place to another place in search of job. That's called migration. And the next is economic oriented unit, EOU. It's very important to think about EOU for the government of Odisha. Reason being, like in some other area, Visakhapatnam or Mumbai area, there is a port. So similar ports should be developed in Odisha, nearby the sea, where one can get the opportunity to work there, and facility must be facilitated to the local people for the employment opportunity. Then whatever the area, we can compare here the east of the India, then the west of the India. We have seen the majority of the industries are in the west of India, like Maharashtra, Gujarat, or we can say that some of the NCR region. So people from Odisha are migrated from Odisha to these states to get the job. Now the state government must have to be focused and pay attention what are the facilities these people need. Means they have to give the special privilege to the industrialist or industry people who can open the industry with full safety and security in Odisha, so that the people in Odisha get abundant facility or employment opportunity to work at locally. Not only this, one must have to think about the environmental constraint, because this time world is thinking about the environment. I'm talking not only for the Odisha, you can see the nearby the states which touch with the Odisha, the similar condition in Bihar as well. Some of the parts of the Uttar Pradesh, Nepal, every year, property of the crores, I'm not talking about the lakhs, crores of rupees of the property every year damaged due to the flood, sometimes drought, or sometimes those maybe earthquake or some other cyclone where it's beyond the control of the human being. So the government need to think about what kind of the facility they should maintain where these people can be protected and safety and security facilities has to be provided by the government. But I can't say it's only the duty of the government. People must have to think how they are working, where they are working, why they are working, and what is the main agenda behind it. If they only want to being a labor, they will be whole life as a labor. But if they decided to become an entrepreneur, it's not necessary to shift their home from one state to another state and become an entrepreneur. They can start their small business within Odisha, and through marketing, they can sell not only in domestic, national, but internationally as well. This is one of the area where our young graduates can develop industry in Odisha state. I have seen Professor Malay Kumar Mohanty sir, Professor Ranjit Kumar Pradhan, Professor Pradyog Kesari Pradhan, and Dr. Reshma Mishra. They have discussed regarding the rehabilitation of migration or migration in different contexts and different aspects, which is all true. But we have to consider regarding the migration and the facility of the migration out of the box. I mean to say, today we are thinking about rehabilitation of migration only when COVID-19 came. But we have to think it deeply, constantly, and continuously whether the COVID-19 will be again repeated in future or not. But how we can facilitate the facility to our workers, people, friends, and family, not only in Odisha, but all over the world. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable insight, and special thank you to you because it is already midnight, and thank you for your pen for the webinar. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you,
Now,
Gupta sir. Thank you very much for giving an opportunity.
thank you.
I do understand because from my side it's almost 5 to 12. So you can understand.
Sir, we know, sir.
And next time, please, I am requesting if you are giving me an opportunity, you have to think about the time.
We are trying to connect Zakir, sir.
Yes,
Actually,
yes. Yes, sir.
Sir.
Hello,
Thank
sir.
you, sir. Sir, now you can continue, sir.
Hello,
Yeah,
sir.
but yeah, you are able to. My video is on now.
Sir, your audio is on, but video is not on, sir.
What happened?
Sir, you can continue with your audio also. No issue.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, okay. Okay, very good afternoon. Not
Hello,
good
sir.
afternoon. Actually, good evening to all of you. Now here only 2:48 for me. Let me start with this audio because not I am able to share my PPT.
Okay, no issue, sir.
Yeah. So I think I joined from my mobile only. I'm not able to join through my laptop computer.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So
Sir,
now
now
you're
it
able
is
to.
on. Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yes, sir.
No,
Yes,
no, no.
sir.
It is from my mobile only.
Okay, okay. No issues.
Yeah. Honorable guests, my teachers, Principal DHENKANAL Autonomous College, Mr. Rajini, and all of our colleagues and participants. I think it is there is an echo issue, I think. Yes, I am able to see in my laptop, but I am not able to see my.
Sir, no issue, sir. Not no issue from our side. I think.
Okay, no.
You can continue,
there,
sir.
No. Can you share this? Means share screen? Can you able for me the share screen?
Okay, sir. Sir, you can share because you are in panelist.
Okay. Let's.
So on your mobile there is share option. You can click that one.
Can, okay.
Because this. Okay, no problem. Let me start. So this is my topic. I am very much thankful to my teacher and my guide, Professor Malay Kumar Mahanti, to give me an opportunity to talk about this topic, migration, reverse migration to India from Gulf countries with reference to Odisha. So just me start with migration. So it is simply, we already listened to all of our expert panelists and our teacher. So simply for me, it is, I want a better life. Simply, and I am also the migrant, what Dr. Suresh Pandey told, we are also migrants, simply for better life. And when we are talking about this Gulf countries, it is one of the foreign policy under our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji. The 6 Gulf countries like Saudi Arabia, Oman, Bahrain, Kuwait, Qatar, and the United Arab Emirates. Here, COVID started from mostly from February end, and there are many direct and indirect effects on the economy due to this COVID. Just like, can you say, fear and uncertainty, like decrease in production and consumption, and decrease in financial flows due to decrease in demand, and employment layoff, and workers' income and non-farming loans. Basically, these are the reasons. But I am not able to show you the statistics or the pictures that how many Indian migrants in the GCC countries, means from 1990 to 2019. Now it is near about 1 crore. So, and up to 2019, India is the topmost in the migrant population. In 1990, India was in 3rd position, but now it is in 2019, it is in top position. And when we are talking about this reverse migration, that is simple. The reasons are like non-availability of livelihood and job opportunities, mainly for in Gulf countries. For our Indians, it is like overcrowded, salary delays and layoffs, problems with healthcare and sick pay, detentions, and lack of informations, these things. So mainly my objective was to discuss about this one, this reverse migration. In general, there is an economic impact of reverse migration, like impact of remittances on GDP, impact on consumption and investment, and impact on employment also. If you'll see, as per the statistics, World Bank, India is the topmost remittances getting from the Gulf country. In 2018, 60% of Indian remittance came from Gulf region only. And out of the 5 countries like China, Mexico, Philippines, Pakistan, India is the topmost benefit country of remittances from Gulf country. So that's why, due to this COVID-19, there is a negative impact on economics, and the generally figure it is showing, the World Bank figure, it is a projection is it is going to drop, expected drop 20% by 2020. But main here, I heard all the speakers, and so mainly, but my concept is, what are the benefits of reverse migration for our state or Odisha? So here my focus is to discuss about the benefit of reverse migration. As we know, those who are coming for work to the GCC or Gulf countries like Bahrain, Qatar, and I am here in Bahrain, the practical thing is, all are mostly very skilled workers and familiar with the very modern technical workforce. And they can transfer their skills when they will migrate in a reverse way to the home economy. They will give more benefits through their skills, what they gained during this job period, migration period here. And another most important thing is, they can give financial support, like what we discuss now. Government is giving so many things, so many schemes. But in case of this reverse migration from Gulf countries, mostly they are sound financial support. Okay, they can remitting their money throughout their across their job period, and they have stimulated investments in new enterprises. So reverse migration workers, they can be self-employed, and they may have been wage workers prior to migrating. Before migrating, they may have wage workers, but now they are self-employed. Now they can create self-employed for themselves, and they can also create an opportunity for others. As we discussed, we know so many strategies declared by our Odisha government, by our Chief Minister, Honorable Chief Minister, Mr. Naveen Patnaik, 17,000 core packages to create job for migrants, and livelihood packages up to till 2021 March. And mainly decided in Panchayat Raj Department will train 40,000 returnees migrant workers, and 140 crores would be spent on skill development. But the important thing here, if you see, those who are migrating from Gulf countries, they are mostly trained and skilled workers. Without spending this much amount from Odisha government, we can use those skilled and skilled migrant workers in a better way. And my focus is, though our 75% Odisha population is mainly involved with agricultural and farming sectors, what can we do for this reverse migrants? So just from my idea and by observing the situation here in Gulf countries, particularly in Bahrain, I just try to suggest two things only. Here, throughout the COVID-19 session from February to August, we are getting sufficient vegetables, rice, nothing, no scarcity like India. But even if there is no production here, nothing here, everything they are importing from our country, from Odisha, from other states. But what here we are getting opportunity to use very fresh fruits, vegetables, and very good quality rice. Believe me, you cannot get that quality of goods in same cost what we are using here. We are using rice like Delhi, that's basmati rice. What we are getting in 90 rupees, we cannot get there even 200 rupees, even if there is this rice is importing from Odisha, India only. So for my focus is to focus means how to we can limit the reverse migration or the migration again from means after COVID-19 from Odisha to other countries, GCCs. So my suggestion, like increase in returns from small farm agriculture and more employment opportunity in the rural non-farm sector. So both I focused on agriculture and non-farm sector, because as you know, nowadays very high demand of diverse foods in the urban areas. So that can create a rural employment growth. And like those people are going or returning from Gulf countries, they are very technically efficient. If we start post-harvest processing, some value addition operation like food production centers, that also can enhance employment opportunities. And reducing transaction costs from small farms in accessing input and output markets. And investment in rural market infrastructure, like for example, temperature controlled storage, transport system, power and communication. So that will attract this urban food value chains to establish, means long-term relationship or long-term link with our small farm communities, those who are working in the rural area. And here, mainly completely based upon ICT and e-markets. But those facilities, our farmers, our industry are not getting that facilities. So if we increase or enhance this ICT and e-markets, farmer participation in value markets, and educating rural youths with smart technologies. So this kind of unique opportunity we can create in our rural areas in agricultural policies, so that we can give an opportunity to our migrants from Gulf countries, those who are very efficient in technical and skill. So recently that one nation, one market policies, that also can enhance the market size and ensuring more stable food prices. So this barrier like this, now government also introduce the efficient transport and barrier-free interstate and intrastate trade may be more helpful to getting one market for one country. And for that, just I suggest recommend some policies for the government of Odisha after observing the situation during COVID-19, and here what I observed, how much benefits we are getting, and that benefits we are getting only from India. Nothing is here. Neither Bahrain is producing rice, agriculture, vegetables, nothing. But everything we are getting fresh, sufficiently with very low price. Now, last year when I was in India, in my local market, the vegetables are more costlier than Bahrain. So just let me this recommendation that like to maximize the benefits of reverse migration by homestay, and so that they can contribute to job creation, and government should help like red tape or means offer financial incentives, provide more investment facilities, and investor should give assurance their right will be protected and that contracts will be enforced. And more work opportunity for migrant workers should be provided in the home state, as well as respecting their fundamental rights. What's are told, nothing to means worry about, like we are not the having the same facility as we are the migrant people from other areas. Then finally, just I can say, I can conclude the contribution of migrants to the development of our home state. We can get maximum benefits by combination of human, financial, and social capital, what we are transferring from abroad when there is a reverse migration process is going on due to this COVID-19. And individual migrants also get benefit from reverse migration, as they tend to do better when they reverse than non-migrants. And home state benefit from reserve migration when it leads to higher investment and productivity by reverses. The benefits will differ from, maybe it will differ from one sector to another, from one region to another region within the country or within the different district of Odisha, but definitely we'll get benefit out of this skill and efficient and financial stability of these reverse migrants of Gulf countries. Thank you so much to giving me my opportunity to say something about this, but I am very much sorry I cannot share my ideas through my PPTs, so that it will be more better. And thanks to Mr. Rajini and the organizer of DHENKANAL Autonomous College and all the honorable guests, and especially to my teacher and my guide, Dr. Professor Malay Kumar Mahanti, and my all colleagues and participants. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Your input is sufficient. Slide is not required at all. Anyway, thank you, sir, for your valuable insight to the topic migration, reverse migration to India from Gulf countries, with special reference to Odisha. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us from Bahrain. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Now it is the session of question and answer. So there are different questions because we have shared the link before. So Dr. Virendra Gomez from Maharashtra, he is asking to Professor Malay Kumar Mahanti how reverse migration affect economy. Sir, over to you. Sir, your mic is
no, I have, thank you, Rajनीsh. It is a good question asked by the participant. As you know, that migration occurs because of higher employment or benefit, financial benefit, which is received by the beneficiary who has migrated. And when reverse migration comes, suppose a plumber who is working in Odisha, he is earning 500 rupees a day as labor charges, or maximum 1000 rupees if he is a very skillful plumber. But if he works in New Delhi or Bombay or some foreign countries, Gulf country or wherever it may be, he will be earning more money, 5000 rupees a day, and by consuming his part, he will remit the rest money to India and to his family members, so that the economy of that family and of that area from which he has migrated is enriched. When the reverse migration comes, if he comes with this skill which Dr. Zakir said, that if he comes with a new technology which he has earned or has been trained and applied in Odisha, suppose from Gulf countries, a person who has earned huge money in Gulf country and has come back to Odisha and has settled in Odisha and has started a new farm using the technology which he has seen there and not available in Odisha, definitely Odisha's economy will be boosted and he can give employment to more. He will not come as a laborer, he will come as an employer because he has money and he has the technology, he has the knowledge. So reverse migration at times helps, and at times if he goes and works as a general worker, say construction worker, or in as a laborer in a spinning mill, then he can't earn here because no opportunities for there. So the economy will be affected. Again?
Next question.
Yes.
From Arpita Rai, a student and a young mind. Very interesting question. He is asking to Professor Pradyot Keshari Pradhan. Why should the government give any financial assistance to migrant labor? Why return migrants who are not able to rehabilitate themselves? To Professor Pradyot Keshari Pradhan. Sir, over to you.
Okay. So India is a welfare state and we are a socialistic state. So everything people cannot do by themselves, and it is a pandemic which was unprecedented and people are not prepared for that. And in this situation, they have lost their jobs. They have they have no means of livelihood to retain with, and that is why government is coming as a temporary help to them. So it is not a permanent help to them. And when they are coming back, then proper arrangements should be made so that they can be rehabilitated. It is not an ex gratia given by the government, but it is an economic plan by which the citizens of the state will live happily and peacefully. So that is why there is a need for the government to intervene, because the individuals do not have the means of livelihood at present. And so for their sustainability, sustainable living, government is interfering. And because not at all time government can help, but at this situation of pandemic, which was unprecedented and which was never been anticipated before, and that is why government is coming to the rescue of the reverse migrant workers.
Thank you, sir. Next question by Alok Kuchiari, a student, to Professor Malay Kumar Mahanti. What are the main causes of reverse migration in Odisha? Sir.
Reverse migration is done by the workers who was not getting employment or livelihood at a particular point of time. Then only they come back. If they continue their job, they don't come back. If they get better opportunities there, they will not come back. But if there is some hardship. Suppose there is a pandemic situation like this or riot, etc. They leave that place and come back to their own place. So this is the reason why the reverse migration occurs. If they get good opportunity there, better livelihood, better amenities, then they will continue there. Like we have seen Zakir, what he said, and from Fiji, for better amenities, they had gone there. Why they'll come back? So this is the any more question? I can.
Sir, one more question from Sahistri Misra, a PG student.
I would like to add to that. Take for example, suppose Son of the Soil approach in Maharashtra, and the Maharashtra Navnivan Sena said that Mumbai is for Maharashtrians and all others cannot stay here. Similarly, suppose a software engineer has gone to America and there is economic slowdown and there are large-scale retrenchments there. So software engineers have to come back. And in those situations, reverse migration will take place. At some point of time, software jobs were most lucrative jobs. At one point of time, people, even the girls were not prepared to marry software jobs because their job security is not there. When will they be left without jobs? It is not known. So that is how the situation in the destination place forces the persons to come back. It is not out of their own sweet will or out of the pleasure that they are coming.
Even social factor is also responsible. Social factor, for example, some Marwadis or Gujaratis, after earning so much of money, they at the last the age, they are going back to their own place, leaving the business to their descendants. This is a social factor. So at times, and some people are also coming back that I will go to my native place to reside in the last part of my life. I will stay there in my native place. That is also happening. That is not migration exactly or reverse migration. Next question.
So next question is from Sahistri. She is asking, is rehabilitation really possible in Odisha?
Rehabilitation is possible to some extent, not fully, because the Orissa is not providing them the proper infrastructure, proper support. For example, if anybody comes to Odisha, he is working in a textile mill in Surat, where he can be rehabilitated. He cannot work in the field for 4 months and remain jobless the rest of the part of the year. Similarly, there are many cases. If they will not get employment, then they will not stay here. So reverse migration is possible only when he gets an opportunity to earn here throughout the year, even maybe lesser, at 80% of his income from that place to this native place. Suppose there he was getting 1,000 rupees. If he gets 700 rupees, he will come back because some social attachment is there. Economic attachment is not everything. But if there will be only 300 rupees income, he cannot maintain his family. So why he will come back and why he will prefer reverse migration? So temporarily, he may come back. Like this pandemic, Ganjam people, those who had been, they are now going back. Those who had been from Calcutta, they are going back because the area where they have some skillfulness, where they can earn more, is not available for 1 year. They saw. Then they started going back again to their places.
Most of the time, it is becoming difficult to rehabilitate because whenever they are going outside, they are going as unskilled labor. But with the passage of time, they are acquiring the skills and they are becoming specialists in that area. So when they are coming back, they are not prepared to go back to the unskilled stage and do whatever is available to do. So that is the problem of rehabilitating, because once somebody becomes skilled, so he does not want that some work beyond his skills should be available to him so that he can do.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. We are running shortage of time. We can take only last 2 questions. One is from Sarada Prasankar, Manager Finance Coal India. He is asking to Pradhyot sir, what are the rehabilitation opportunity available for Barampur citizens in Odisha in this COVID-19 scenario?
Barampur is famous for its entrepreneurial ability. So whether it is Surat or any other place, that the Barampur people they are known for their hardworking nature. So now the possibility of rehabilitating them is in the food processing industry, because Barampur is famous for growing vegetables, but there is a great demand for organic vegetables in most of the places now, and so that is why, like Kandhamar turmeric. So similarly, if Barampur people will, and some of the Koraput people have shown that in practice, that growing organic vegetables has earned them lakhs of rupees within few months. And similar things may happen to Barampur people if they will be engaged in producing organic vegetables and go for food processing units. That will be very good for them.
Okay. In practice, Barampur people are more skillful in entrepreneurship.
One last question, that is to Zakir sir. We will end with that, and that is from my side only.
Yes, sir.
Zakir sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sir, are you willing to come back to Odisha if you get better opportunity here?
Definitely, sir. Sir, it is not about reverse migration. It is about my family attachment. If you will give me better opportunity, anytime I will get, definitely I want to stay with my family, my mothers, my parents, and also you also.
Okay, okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for your nice words.
But when we are
Last phase
talking
of
about
Zakir's
reverse
life will be in
migrants,
Odisha. On behalf of his, I am replying. Last part of Zakir will be in Odisha. He has gone there to earn and give better education to his children. After 10 years, you will see that he is in Odisha.
because I am always discussing with my not teacher, my guide. Sir, anytime I will get better opportunity, definitely I will come back to Odisha, and that's why I want to always be in touch with Odisha people, Odisha Commerce Association, and commerce industry.
Thank you, sir. Now let's come to the last part of the session. But the most important part, I would like to invite our senior most professor, Professor Ranjit Kumar Pradhan. He is from Department of English. In fact, he is the head of the English department and one of the strong pillar of our institution. Sir, I would like to invite to present vote of thanks. Sir, over to you, sir.
Esteemed Madam Principal, Dr. Mishra, esteemed Chief Guest of this webinar, Sujukta Bisay, distinguished resource persons of this webinar, esteemed participants and delegates all across the globe, very good evening to all of you. As the administrative officer of the college and as a member of this webinar advisory committee, I deem it an honor to be a part of it and to propose a vote of thanks. But before I do my officially assigned duty, I would like to share a word or two as regards this webinar's topic. Friends, as rightly said by our chief guest today, that migration is as old as human thinking, and it is not an old concept. It is not a new concept. And even today's webinar in itself is a migration, because we have migrated from the usual mode of conducting a seminar or anything of that sort. However, in the present context of COVID-19 pandemic, I think a webinar is the only possible thing. Anyway, at the outset, I express my sincere thanks, deep gratitude to all the esteemed resource persons for their participation, for their kind address in this webinar, and also for illuminating us, enlightening us with their thoughts and ideas, and for their effort for broadening our horizons on a very relevant topic, relevant vital issue like migration, reverse migration and rehabilitation with special reference to Odisha. I am special thankful to the chief guest of today's webinar, Srijukta Bisai, for giving us some time from his busy schedule and for putting a very laudable, insightful and informative talk. And my thanks are also due to Madam Professor Sasmita Samant, President OCA and ICA, Pro Vice Chancellor Kids University, and VC KISS, then Professor Dr. Malaya Kumar Mahanti, former President OCA, and Managing Editor Odisha Journalism of Commerce and World Bank, and Professor Pradeep Kesari Pradhan, former Vice President OCA, and former Professor and Head of the Department, PG Department of Commerce, Utkal University, Bani Bihar, and Professor Zakir Hussain Sheikh, faculty in the Commercial Studies Division, Ministry of Education, Kingdom of Bahrain, and Professor Surendra Kumar Pandey, whom we kept waiting till midnight, faculty in the School of Accounting and Law, Fiji National University, for their participation, for their address in this particular webinar, and for their insightful, very nice, inspiring, and magnificent talks. I can say one thing, that after hearing to all the resource persons, I can conclude that all the resource persons in this webinar are truly resourceful. They are magnificent people, eminent scholars, brilliant teachers, and illustrious academics. And I can say, I can go ahead by saying that they are treasured properties of a commerce fraternity. Their discourse on COVID-19 migration, reverse migration scenario, opportunities for rehabilitation, possibilities for rehabilitation, then challenges and opportunities of rehabilitation for Odisha, initiatives taken by central and state governments for rehabilitation of Odia workforce in Odisha, then reverse migration of migrants from Gulf countries to India, then reverse migration of Australian continent from India. And it was laudable, it was very innovative, it was praiseworthy, and it was packed with facts, figures, statistics, educational inputs, and intellectual food. And I'm sure all the scholars will be richly benefited. All the scholars who are intending to take up their research work in future, particularly on this vital issue, will be richly benefited by these talks. So on behalf of the college, I take this opportunity to submit special thanks to all the dignitaries, to all the esteemed resource persons. My thanks are also due to the participants, to the delegates for participating in this webinar, and also for making it very interesting and interactive. Especially thankful to our Madam Principal for her active support, guidance, supervision, and inspiration. In fact, Madam Principal has been a source of strength and inspiration for all of us. And without her support, without her aid and advice, things could not have been materialized. I also thank the department, PG Department of Commerce, along with Odisha Commerce Association, for putting a joint effort, joint venture, or for just this commendable enterprise of organizing this very important international webinar on a very vital topic at a time, difficult time, when the whole world is battling with the COVID-19 pandemic. And for this, special thanks go to Professor Rajanikanta Khuntia, head of the PG Department of Commerce, for taking the pen and for initiating the matter and for taking up this vital issue for discussion, for deliberation, and also for coordinating the entire process to the perfection. Then my thanks are also due to the members of this advisory committee, in particular Dr. Debashish Mahanti, Srijukta Nayak, and OCA members, executive committee members, Dr. Biswamohan Jenam, Dr. Durga Madhav Mahapatra, and Professor Major S.A. Tahir, Secretary, for their effective guidance and for their timely help. And without their help, I think things could not have been materialized so easily and so successfully. Finally, without wasting much of your time, when things are over, nobody is prepared to listen to me. Without wasting much of your valuable time, finally, ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you all for enlightening us with your new ideas, new thoughts, and with something unknown to us, and with bearing with our inadequacies. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for joining us. One important announcement to all the participants: please fill up the feedback form certificate form to get the participation certificate. It will be sent to your mail within 7 or 10 days. Thank you.
Thank you, Rajni.
Thank you, sir.
Congratulations on completion of this webinar so successfully.
Yes, sir. I am obliged. It is your blessing, sir.